One afternoon, back in 2003, there was a phone call that came through for me, which I answered. And the message that came through was that there was an incident that had happened at Artuifi Adventist Hospital on the island of Malaita. That wasn't very good news. I had been working at Artuifi like previously for 14 years. And there is a strong attachment that I had with that hospital. I was the surgeon there. I was the administrator of that hospital. And so to hear of that incident happening at Artuifi really took my attention, and I was actually very sad to hear that story. The story was that the business manager of Artuifi, Lance Gershbeck, had just been murdered. The actual thing that happened was that Lance was working at a building site when, unbeknown to him, because of a situation that had happened some weeks earlier, there was some issues with relationship between some people that live up in the mountains and one of our staff at the hospital. Lance was working at that site. And as he was standing looking over the site, there's this man that came and with a very sharp knife basically beheaded him. My responsibility then was to reattach the head to the rest of the body. It was a very difficult situation. And so as I was doing the surgery, there was a lot of emotion that was going through me. I was angry. Every emotion cried out for revenge. Why? Why did this happen to this man? We did the work. The body was sent back to Australia. But during that time, after the morgue experience, my life changed quite significantly. I was harboring hatred. And in fact, I went to the extent where I actually said to myself, if this is what they are going to do, if this is what they've done to Lance, then I'd be happy if they closed the hospital down. So that not only these two men would suffer, but the whole population in that area would suffer. I was angry. And I harbored that for several months. And then came the time for the court case to happen. This was held in another town on the island of Malaita. I was flown there, and I remember very clearly that day I was in the courthouse. And this was the first time that I had the opportunity of seeing the man, the accused, who had done the murder. Every emotion in me cried out for revenge. I kind of felt that I should reach out, and slap him on the face, maybe even spit on his face. I was very unhappy, very angry. But then I said to myself, if I did that, every ounce of love in me would dry up. And so it was at the courthouse, this is several months later, that I decided to forgive the man. And when I did that, I went through an amazing experience. Peace flooded my life. And it was like a huge burden on my shoulder that has just been lifted. I had read somewhere that when when you forgive someone, you release him from your condemnation. This man had been condemned by me. I was angry. I wanted to do something to him. But it was at that point that I decided that I would forgive him. And that released me. Peace flooded my life. And after that, I didn't realize that my relationship with my co-workers had been affected. Even my family had been affected, my children and my wife. But after that experience of forgiveness, after I decided I forgive him, my relationships improved. In fact, my work performance improved significantly. I was able to see my wife in a different light, and my children, we were much more happier in the home. I had a better relationship with my nurses in the wards and with my colleagues in the wards. Something happened when I decided to forgive that man. I would say that there is really no benefit in harboring hatred and anger and resentment, because it really does no good to you. It destroys you inside. And the best thing would be that you forgive, because as you do that, you release that person from your condemnation. And when you do that, you actually free yourself as well. And I found that forgiveness is the only answer to resentment, to anger, and to hatred.